Warning: this video discusses gang stalking, handlers, secret societies, and Monarch programming. All content is shared for informational and educational purposes only. I frequently use the word allegedly and point out that just because someone exhibits certain behaviors, it does not automatically mean they are a handler or that you are a victim of Monarch programming. These are research-based observations and personal insights, not verified facts, professional advice, or absolute truth. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm a gifted kid turned remote viewing psychic, and today we're filming part 2 of my popular video, Do You Have a Handler? Signs of Monarch Programming. I filmed my last video a couple of months ago, and I've uncovered so much information since then, as well as have had a handful of interesting experiences through talking about this content on my channel. So today I wanted to show you some real life examples of how these handlers and manipulative types use this in the real world, especially with the rise of AI and social media and algorithms. It can make us a target to these manipulative types. So if you know what you're looking for, it's pretty easy to spot them. So today I'm going to break it down for you line by line and show you what these manipulative people might sound like when reaching out to you through social media. So let's get into it. Now, before we get started, I wanted to invite you to watch my Monarch Programming and Handlers video in case you missed it to get more context on this subject. I also have several playlists on my channel, everything from Monarch Programming in depth to handlers and the Matrix to MK Ultra, gate and mind control, and support for empaths, gate kids, and neurodivergent souls. We also have one on targeted individuals and bloodline tracking, so definitely check those out if you're not familiar with the subject. And remember to take all of this with a grain of salt. Just because somebody acts like a handler doesn't mean that MK Ultra or the government or any organization sent someone to spy on you. It is so important to use our discernment so we don't just jump straight into paranoia. When I started this channel, one of the reasons I talk about it the way that I do is because I noticed that all of the resources out there for targeted individuals were filled with fear and paranoia, and I wanted to leave people in a more empowered state. So that's why I created this channel, and that's why today we're going to go into some letters and comments. The targeting doesn't stop, does it, guys? But today we're going to get into some comments that were left on my channel that I deal with all the time, and I wanted to break it down to you in real time for how these groups and manipulative people might use these tactics. So let's get into it before my whole neighborhood starts barking.
So right away we see they lead with a compliment. I like you. Your candor reveals your sincerity, and in a world of absence of knowledge, that is a rare treasure. So they also are recognizing something I probably value in myself, the fact that I am a seeker and not a sheep. Then they lead into, for now I will leave it at that, and I say, for now, because there is so much I would like to tell you about the journey you're on and why you're on it and why we created it to be the way it is. As you can see in this line, they're positioning themselves as some kind of expert, mentor, or controller of your life. Like they're part of some secret society. Hence why they say we. And they also say for now, also implying that there's more information that only they have for you. Let's get into the next line. We will speak together when it is time. The things I want to share with others like yourself is to be reserved only for those who are ready to lead and not for those who aren't. And this is due to the delicacy of humanity and due to what we are able to do once we receive our authority. That line right there, things that I would like to share with others like yourself, is only to be reserved for you when you're ready. They also touch on the fact that we may be called to lead or that we may be interested in having some kind of power. So they're preying on the human desire to feel important, special, acknowledged. Then we're going to move on to the next line. The returns are something that will absolutely blow your mind, and this is what I mean by power and delicacy. So they are, in a way, implying that you're not ready to hear something right now, which means you have to earn this kind of secret knowledge, which is already somebody acting like some kind of mentor or boss in your life and acting like you don't have the tools inside of you to figure it out for yourself. You can already tell the recruiting type language in this letter. So the next line, you're not looking in the wrong place, nor is your methods amiss. Right there, they are implying that our personal experience is not enough. What we're doing on our own is not enough. Again, we need them to point us in the right direction, which preys on the human nature to want to worship something or honor something or seek something spiritually. So instead of allowing you to seek God, the one true path, the higher God that lives in all of us, they want to position themselves as that authority. The next line, the thing that evades you is the next step. And the very last step is the hardest, most difficult thing to take because of the enormity of what it encompasses and the effing absolute responsibility that accompanies that by right and necessity. So I'm curious, what is that next and very last step? Do I have to participate in some kind of ritual? Are you going to ask me to do something with the kids? Oh, please no. Do I have to show up at a meeting? You can see this is already starting to get a little bit sketchy. Not to mention that if this really is a secret society recruiter or some kind of manipulative cult leader and not AI, that means they might be already involved in some sketchy things that they justify because they think they're doing it to make the world a better place. Is that someone you want to be surrounded with? Probably not. Then we have the part about the seeking. When all roads and queries have driven you to exhaustion and you're still no further in understanding, remember, seriously, remember me, remember this specific random comment, and if you allow it, I can contact you by whatever method you feel comfortable with. Outside of text and YouTube, there is a reason for that. Back to the delicate thing, and I can connect some dots for you. Wow, this is a lot to unpack in this line. First of all, they recognize that you're a seeker. They recognize that you're looking for the answers and that you've already caught on to something the majority of people probably have not. So, since you're still seeking, you're kind of in a vulnerable situation. What better time to come try to manipulate you into seeing things how they want you to see it? And the fact that they call this a random comment, well, is it that random if you're sending this to hundreds of other people through a copy and paste message? Or let's for 1 second act like it's not a copy pasted AI message. Well, maybe this is a real person. Maybe they really do work for some kind of organization or cult or something. Either way, they've been watching. And that's kind of creepy. So the next thing that is a red flag in this message is that they want to take you offline, off of the public forums, and they want to tell you a secret. So again, preying on the human need to feel special, important, and like an individual, which if you've suffered from trauma already, you're a very vulnerable target for this kind of language, and they know it. So they're using this kind of language to prey on you. If you haven't been isolated enough in your life, they want to continue to isolate you, take you off a public platform under the guise of, it's not safe to talk here. And they, again, want to be the one to connect the dots for you since you're not smart enough to do it yourself. Now, moving on. My reason for making you aware is because having had to do it on my own was absolutely effing devastating. Actually, I am shocked it hasn't taken me out. LOL. They're popping some humor in to make themselves seem more relatable. They're also acknowledging the fact that you've probably felt really alone and isolated. Hence, why you're being targeted. Because they expect that you're traumatized enough to be fooled. But if you're watching this channel, that's not you, is it? I'll leave you on this note. Nothing is without express purpose. Not one single thing happens when awareness is present that is without reason, express and deliberate reason. So this is starting to sound like some kind of cult ideology to me. Trying to sound smart, trying to position themselves again as the expert and the one with all of the answers, trying to seem mysterious. But they're not fooling me. And then they get a little more specific about my video. There is nothing to fear. All the handlers and gatekeeping serves a purpose. It all makes sense once you receive it. First of all, are they justifying manipulation and abuse? Because if so, I'm not signing up for that. So, just to reaffirm the fact that they're a nice person, they throw another compliment in there. I'm rooting for you, and I know you're tough as they come. You get this. And then we see, to make it even more personalized, they're going to add that at the 25-minute mark of my video, I said victim, and I'm not, right? Because I'm special. Remember, they said that earlier. And this ties into that last step, reveals. I can't wait to say it, but I can't because it's something you have to experience. LOL, it's so frustrating. I promise it will become clear. A clue I could give you would be time and God, or another way to say that is perception and infinite, same thing. So again, with the cult ideologies, positioning themselves as the expert, the one with the answers, and it's not going to come for free though, because you're going to have to do something. That last step, whatever they're talking about. Again, what is that? A meeting? Do I have to attend some kind of ritual? Go drop something off in somebody's mailbox? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to have me do.
So as you can see, these people can be very manipulative and sometimes even charming. But you're smarter than them. And you're learning how to recognize manipulative and toxic behavior. So anyone that's here trying to tell you that you do not have all of the answers inside of you, like you were ill-equipped when coming into this world, like for some reason, the God of this universe only gave a certain number of people the answers, I don't subscribe to that mentality. And maybe that's why I was able to stop most of my gang stalking experiences, because I refuse to give those people any power over me. But for a time, as I've mentioned in many of my videos, I did, because there's so many things out there that are designed to hijack our attention and make us susceptible to this kind of programming and language. And as victims of traumatic experiences, we can also be a seemingly easy target for these people. So again, just to sum it up, we're looking for people who are using NLP kind of language. So neuro-linguistic programming is when you mirror someone's behavior, their personality, their words. So especially think of these dark organizations who are not all love and light, but they like to prey on the love and light type people. So they may start mimicking and replicating their love and light type language. And because you're open-minded and trusting, that's what they're going to mimic as well. But the best way to judge someone's behavior is how they're treating other people. If their whole life is about secrecy and how other people perceive them, there's your red flag right there. And if they're asking you to manipulate other people or hide things from other people, they're not your friend. They're doing that to you too. So is that who you want to allow in your life? Not me. So again, just another disclaimer, just because someone uses this kind of language doesn't mean they're necessarily from a secret society, that they're a programmer, that they're sent from the government, etc. Sometimes narcissists use these tactics to manipulate who they see as easy targets. So again, take all of this with a grain of salt, but just beware of the people you encounter on the internet. And another great thing to ask yourself is, did they contact you or did you find them? Because if they found you, not saying that everyone who finds you is going to be manipulative, but I'm just saying, if they really were a programmer or trying to MK Ultra you, then they probably do know everything about you and they would also find you. So that's why I am very weary about people who come into my life trying to love bomb me and they're way too adamant or aggressive when it comes to hanging out or communicating on some kind of private form of communication. If you can't say it publicly, then I really don't want to have that conversation. Now, I understand that when we're talking about trauma and personal things, you don't always want to say it publicly, and I understand that. But you also, if you're a healthy individual, you're not just going to go blurt it out to any kind of stranger, because you know that these things that you've experienced deserve a certain level of trust And you can't trust somebody if you don't know them. You can feel like you might be able to trust them if you've observed them online, but in reality, until you see how somebody behaves and how they act and how they treat the people around them, you do not know somebody. So I always caution people, beware of how you meet people, beware of what you post on the internet, watch out for manipulative language like this. Don't put everything out there. Be cautious about who you allow into your life and who you allow to get close to you. And for the love of God, please be careful with who you share intimate details with, because especially these types of manipulative people, the ones who are going to try to get you to join their cult, their secret society, the ones who will ultimately try to blackmail you into acting the way they want you to, they use the information that you share with them. So don't tell them anything unless you really, really trust somebody. And if you have trouble trusting your gut and intuition, I've created an ESP development and remote viewing mastery course just for you. And I've also included free tools on my Linktree. So fear inventory and belief exploration worksheet and a 21-day habits tracker. It's listed as pay what you can. So I very much appreciate your tips and paying for my work, because that's how I'm able to keep doing this. But I believe these tools should be free for everybody. So that's why they're listed as pay what you can. So I also work with people one-on-one. I do voice recorded readings currently, and I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do them as my channel grows, but you're also invited to check out the links for booking a private session with me. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot, and let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want me to cover on this topic or in my next video.